arrive here, everybody's wearing the shirts. I mean, that must be the first time we've pulled in as a team, everybody all at once and everybody enthusiastic. I was happy to see everybody today. I think what we'd like to do is just get this motor together. We're going to lose bits and pieces if we haven't already. And I just want to see it get together, start getting stuff in the car and make some progress. So just to recap what happened the last time, we went and got ourselves standard bearings, we went and put them in, and found that the oil journals didn't line up with the hole in the bearing, even remotely.
So this is not all that it's cranked up to be. The holes are in the wrong place. These are not lining up at all. That's the new ones, that's the old one, and that is not gonna work. So unfortunately tonight we are not putting a crank in.
We're not putting crank in.
Shit.
Turns out that on this particular motor, we've found out since that the later models use 4-wire con rods, so you need to use 4-wire bearings. And now, perfect. AE bearings. So I was a bit nervous about these other ones that were flaking and doing all kinds of funny things.
So did you put some assembly lube in there before you started pushing all of that in?
Those are not moving parts, these are.
Okay.
Strong debate about whether you should oil the bottom of bearings or not.
You should never oil the bottom of a bearing.
Okay. Good to know.
You haven't had bearings
now you know.
You haven't had bearings turn around on one of those broken AG4 AGZEs, eh?
No.
Your bearing becomes a roller bearing.
Nice. We had roller bearings back on the 2-strokes.
Early morning, all of us, we're here. Let's get this motor done. We've decided that it's been a long time since we've needed to get this motor done, but I reckon we can actually push it out today. So let's get done.
Okay.
Now, why does that crank say 2 speed?
It's possible. Nothing's impossible.
You need an extra hand, right?
No,
Sure.
we got it. She's in.
That's it. Now put it in the car. Let's go.
Let's start now.
Now, clips. I was very proud to find all the AE parts that we couldn't find before, and then the thrust bearings are missing. Really, I guess it goes that way sometimes. Well, we had everything, except for those.
And these aren't
The thrust washers.
red fingers.
Fortunately, it's a Toyota. So you just phone good old Cottwells, and they had it on the shelf on a Saturday.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, the 3T has a 5 bearing main, or 5 main bearing, and the center one has
Good job, right?
There'll be no judging here.
thrust washers on it.
There were nearly something else washers.
So yeah, there and there, we've got those on the downside. There's 4 of them. We had 2 old ones, but yeah, we didn't have the ones for the block itself, only those for the caps. But there we go. These are the cap ones. They've got these little tabs on them. Brand new, couple bucks, Cottwells, happy days. The trick is, this is actually the long weekend. This is Easter weekend. Thankfully, we were doing this on a Saturday morning, so some places are still open.
So we're sticking in crank, starting to put all the big ends and mains all the way in, tighten them up and torque, and then we're starting to realize that we are missing our thrust washers. Lucky enough, Raymond saved our asses. He had managed to find ourselves a set of thrust washers, and off he goes. Time to go get those thrust washers.
What's the first torque setting?
It's only got 1.
It's only got one, so you want to go halfway.
So it wants to play
We're gonna do
between,
that-
what was it, 72 and
82, I think. 83.
somewhere around there.
We're going to do lowest settings first. Just check that everything rotates and is happy, and then we'll go to the higher setting.
Okay, you hold it.
Yeah. Don't you want to just pull them all down first? Before you do that, make sure that the caps are all secret.
If it makes you happy.
It makes me happy. It's not a big effort to do that.
No, it actually is. You are so difficult to please.
You have no idea.
I have some idea. What's the first section? 40 newtons.
72.
Why are there two settings if there's only one?
No, because it
Range.
Yeah.
So go to 50 and then go to 80.
Yes.
Yeah.
That instance of silence when you go like this and it goes.
When righty tighty becomes righty loosey.
I go home when that happens.
Progress is being made. The crank is at least in.
I'm hoping that this thing is just going to. There we go. Okay, so let's
Has
throw
it taken
some oil. Because we have been sitting for a while. I don't want to put too much, but it's all going to drain out in any case.
Wait, next year.
Look, when you start up the mites and it smokes.
Just remember this part of the build.
Yeah, it's this. It's not the rings that are stuffed.
Can we go?
Look, if it smokes, it can still go. I mean, the MX-5 it was still smoking at the whole 9 hour.
Yes, this feels gorgeous, buddy. You want to feel this?
Okay, so I got some lacquer lubricant that we can put in there.
Expand the lubricant.
No, just normal SP115 resin.
This thing looks like it's moving.
Feel this thing, man.
Oh, there goes the 7,000 Rand torque wrench.
Did you just drop his torque wrench? Did you drop the man's torque wrench?
Engine feels really good. We're swinging it by hand, and it does genuinely feel like all the tolerances and all the rings and everything are seating beautifully. There's no real hiccups, there's no real scrapes, there's no awkward sounds. It feels slick, it feels smooth, it feels pretty new. We've dressed everything up as well, so it looks pretty new as well. We're going to spend a good part of time cleaning up some other parts around the car, and I want it to run as well as it looks. We're focusing heavily on aesthetics, but I think it's just because we've got a bit of pride in the project now, and we want to make sure that it's an accurate reflection of the love that we've put into it.
Water without antifreeze will do that.
Yep. Base coat, and then hopefully the second coat makes it look all nice and shiny and new. But we do have to replace.
Yeah, no,
It's where all our
But we've got the main seal.
yeah.
Yeah, so
It's got the rear main. Clean up the sump a bit, respray, retap, and all that stuff, and then yeah.
you'd swear we're building this for a customer,
I know, right? It's this is like one
but
of
it
those.
is. We got the chassis looking good,
No, we want it
inside.
to look.
and the engine bay
We
looks
want it to
tiny.
look nice. So yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, if not, why not? Plus,
It's 10-15 minutes here, and yeah, and then you feel proud about it. You open up the engine bay and you're like,
yeah, you want it to look like, you know, how your car you would want it to look as soon as you open up the engine bay. So
yeah, exactly.
the quickest way and the easiest way to polish. Oh shit! So
Are you justifying your actions here?
I was kind of showing off for a second there.
Nicely, buddy.
Camshaft is in.
Lekker.
Oh, 7th of May.
Jay, can I give you some head?
Seated. Yeah, put it the right way.
Yeah, that would be good. Okay, it's done.
Hey, it's coming together now.
Sorry, I'm in your way.
It's pretty.
Right, let's lube up.
I mean, considering the age of the motor, etc., it's not bad sized ports either for Inter.
That's tiny.
No, compared to what it is.
It's an 1800. That's tiny.
So the weirdest thing is you've got this big ass motor and such a puny little head.
Yeah.
But she's a Hemi.
That is it.
Alright, let's get that. Yeah.
Ah, still the old Toyota badge.
Yeah.
I love it. Tash's grandfather's got a toolbox with that logo on it.
Now you can put the rods down.
Crank's now in, rods are all tightened up. Let's flip this motor. Obviously now we need to set up everything for the rockers, and we find out that we are missing a head bolt. So yet again, send Raymond out. Lucky enough he has a spare motor, which again, saved our asses. So send him out and get ourselves another head bolt. So we can basically finish up this head, torque it down, and start with the time.
We're ready to tighten the head, but with us being us, we've managed to misplace the head bolt. But it doesn't mean that we can't stop. We can carry on with the timing until we find the bolt.
Just means we can't torque down the head.
Yeah.
Okay, because we've got the rockers in, the rockers in, with the push rods. It is of course a push rod engine, so the push rods run all the way down into the bottom to where the cam sits. The cam sits over here. It is an overhead valve. It is not an overhead cam. Cam's there, we've got the cam gear over there, and that's going to go on this end. We're going to have water pump over here. Here's our head, and here with our rockers. Push rods get pushed by the cam up and down, and these rock as the name implies, and opens up the valves. Cool. But this rocker assembly is all held in place by the head bolts, which are long bolts that go into the block. I'm missing one.
Yay. Story of our life.
If it's not one thing, it's another. And we had to first sit here and maneuver the louver here because this rocker was properly seized and virtually welded, corrosion welded onto this shaft, and it needs to be completely free. The shaft itself doesn't turn, the shaft stays stationary and just the rocker moves on it. The shaft is actually notched, and these head bolts hold the shaft in place, and then these just wiggle backwards and forwards.
I knew it was going to happen. It was inevitable. We've waited too long. We've been a little bit tardy and careless with what we've done with all the bits and pieces. We're putting it back together, and what are we missing? A head bolt. Of all things, a major component. Luckily, I've got another engine at home. I'm just going to slip home and go and get one quickly. 1, 2, 3.
Raymond has returned because, just by sheer coincidence, he has a 3T sitting at his house. Why do you have a 3T sitting at your house, Raymond?
Well, it was given to me, and it's been sitting in a wheelbarrow ever since. And I thought, let me not throw it away. And today I opened it so we could get a part that we were missing. And it turns out it has double valve springs, which can only mean one thing.
And we're not going to say what that means, because those that know will know.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know, and it's one of those.
So it's going to get out of the wheelbarrow fast and covered and stuff.
Yeah, okay. I was actually going on the slightly different angle that, which I'm going to call as, I don't know, I'm going to call it the truth. You love the 3T so much, you went out looking for one.
I did, and I'm going to build a car for it. That's the truth. I think when you and I went and bought parts for this, and I realized what it costs to get, a brand new engine built, and how nicely they go when they're in good shape. I just thought, I absolutely love this motor. I'm going to get another one. I'm going to build another one and find a car for it.
I'll paint it and I can take it away.
So you see, I think that's ignition timing that we're going to find there. I think it's going to be cam timing.
Well, there we go.
No, there'll be TVC and then there'll be marks after TVC.
Should as well have.
So we are slightly off. Because
okay, there we go. Now you can find TVC.
Should be.
You got him. There. Okay, so let's try not to move that now.
Okay, so now we need to get it off.
Timing
chain.
Yeah, no broken.
All that good work that you did, we now need to undo.
Yep.
Ah.
Oops. We'll just edit that out.
If you don't keep knocking, we're going to copyright strike.
You know what this does to my OCD, eh? There we go. You've seen firsthand.
Yeah.
What were you going to do? Put the chain
Oh,
on
we've got
top
to do
of this?
something so you can stop knocking stuff.
But we also need to replace the seal on that.
Well,
one.
lucky enough,
Yeah.
we've got comes with the whole kit.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Keep on knocking, but you can't come in.
I know not everybody appreciates it, but once that front cover is on and glued in position, you're committed. I don't feel like taking that off once it's in the car and having to re-silicon it and find new gaskets. I'd rather spend half an hour double, triple, quadruple checking it, and then I know it's correct. Sorry, Jason. Also mark it there. Also mark it there.
Catch Scooby-Doo, yeah?
Can you see that? There you go. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Can you? Because it doesn't look like you can.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, Raymond's just marking everything now.
Yeah.
Might as well just put a mark there and a there.
Yes.
And then we'll know.
Good. Okay, can I give it 2 revs?
2 revs.
Yeah.
Revolution, yeah. Sorry, I got a bit.
One.
In a bit.
Nothing's hitting, nothing's.
No, feels good.
Okay, now time to set up the timing. I've had to watch a couple of videos, being the first motor of this that I've put together. And we've managed to put this timing together. But having Raymond double check, triple check, 100 times check, I just want to put the front timing cover on so we can carry on with it. But no, Raymond wants to triple check, 400 times. So yeah, getting ready to throw something at him.
Now you went and put the gasket on, yeah? So now it's gonna we need to trim it.
What do you mean?
Look here now.
No. I am not taking responsibility for that.
I made him put it on, and I'm sorry.
Cool, so we got things flipped over. Top of the engine is looking pretty okay. I don't know that cover is sort of almost kind of bolted on. Because if that bails off there and hurts my paint job, I'm going to be a little naughty, just saying. But here's the underside again. I'm going to flip it around. And now time for the oil pickup. That's not the pump itself, eh? Oh, that is pump.
No,
eh?
this
Yes,
is the
that's
pump.
Yeah, mechanical pump. Pump in sump. Why isn't this thrush wash overlapping properly?
Just put the pump in.
Oh, no. Let's talk about that since you did the
No,
timing
so-
700 times.
So for some reason there is an extra recess. I looked at that about 4 or 5 times because it irritated me. And it's very bad design because when you're trying to hold it together to get the thrust washers in, it pinches and the bottom ones do this. And you're like, come on. Very nasty.
All right. The things are coming together rather nicely. Fuel pump is on. It's all upside down here. We don't have the oil filter on. Timing cover and timing chain, as well as the water pump and viscous. That's all on the front. Crank pulleys on the front. We're busy working on the intake manifold. I'm busy sitting cleaning that up. Our previous owners, mechanics, had a bit of a love affair with silicone. And we wish they'd had a love affair with antifreeze and anti-corrosion agents.
And then just to make sure that we don't get tagged for copyright infringements, I want candy.
Ah, yes. Well, I did forget about the music in the background, so we're going to have to hope that it's quiet enough in the background. Otherwise, tough shit.
In your mind, you always think you're going to get a bit further than you did. I pictured an engine and gearbox together, ready to go back, but we're more than halfway there. Good, solid progress today. We know what we didn't know, and that helps. We didn't know what we didn't know before we started, so we can go and get the little bits and bobs that we're short of, go give it a bit more thought, come back more prepared, and finish it up the next time. So happy with the day, for sure.
So next steps for this motor is to basically complete all the external auxiliary pieces. Intake manifold, exhaust manifold, finish up with the adapter plate for that carb so that when we basically put the motor in, we are ready to go ahead and start. Motor's coming together fantastically. And the look of all the brand new painted parts and stuff like that, it's looking good. Starting to feel proud of that we're finally getting this motor done, and I think it's going to look pretty good.